Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
You are listening to the Brilliance Business Show. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. Conversations with leading experts in business. And today I have the most wonderful guest, Stacey Magovern. Stacey is an entrepreneur and community leader. And our topic today is keeping citizens safe. I'm interested to learn more about that. Stacey, welcome to the Brilliance Business Show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I love your show and just really excited to be here.
I'm really excited to have a conversation with you, Stacey. Before I get started, I just need to make a legal disclaimer that Stacey is not offering legal advice or legal assistance. So let's get started with the show. Stacey, can you share with our listeners a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure. Yeah. Stacey Magovern. I'm a born and raised self-proclaimed small town Texas girl, and always have had sort of that entrepreneurial bone in my body, if you will, and have tried many businesses over the years. But it wasn't until my most recent business, which I founded in 2012, that I finally found some real success. So I found a gap in the marketplace for off-duty work for police officers. Some of you may not know that in the States, and especially in Texas, a lot of police officers don't make a lot of money. And so they really rely on work in their off-duty time to supplement their incomes. But it was always really random, and they never sort of knew when that work was coming or how to plan or budget for their families. So I came up with the idea of a marketplace for off-duty work for these police officers where they can get as little or as much off-duty work as they need to supplement their incomes and plan for the future and have vacations and all that sort of thing. So my business is Point Blank Safety Services. We employ over 200 police officers that work for us in their off-duty time, and we do traffic control on highway construction sites, as well as site security for construction yards and businesses and anyone that wants more than just a security guard with a flashlight. If you want someone that's able to take action, detain, arrest, and really make a real difference in the safety of the citizens, then you would call us Point Blank Safety Services.
Stacey, that is a real nice story of what you are achieving, and I would like to dig deeper actually into your story shortly. It really does sadden me to hear when people say that police officers don't get enough, nurses are not getting paid enough. That is really sad when they're doing such great service, that without those kind of people in this world, the world would just not be a safe place to be. So I really admire what you are doing. So can you just share with our listeners, who are your customers? Who are you serving?
Yes. Well, in Texas specifically, TxDOT, the Texas Department of Transportation, requires police officers to be on highway construction sites. The police officers are keeping the citizens safe on those highway construction jobs, as well as keeping the construction workers safe as they're building those highways. In Texas, we like to say there's two seasons, right? Winter and highway construction, because we're always working on the highways here. So that's one of the people we serve, is the big prime construction companies that win the big contracts to help TxDOT improve the roads. And then the second people we serve are just the corporate clients that want, like I said, something more than a security guard. They want boots on the ground to protect maybe their new construction, maybe keep their equipment safe, maybe keep people from, robbing the copper or the wire from a job site, that sort of thing. We'll have an officer in a patrol car, on their site, during holiday time when they're closed or on the weekends or in the evenings, just making sure that everything that they own stays where it's supposed to.
Yes, and I want to dig a little bit deeper into you, Stacey. I know your story. You have a wonderful story of real success and achievement. Can you share that with our listeners a little bit, please?
Sure. Well, I came up with this idea of creating this marketplace so officers could have as much or as little off-duty work as they wanted. And I worked on this idea for 2 years while working a full-time job, while raising 2 boys, while being married to a police officer that was never around, always working those odd shifts. So, 2 years really in the big picture of life isn't that long, but when you're going through it, it seems like forever.
Yes.
So in the cool part of the story is in September of 2014, I had been working diligently to try to win a contract on one of these highway projects. And I had met with some of the big guys at one of the companies multiple times, but they had never really told me definitely they were going to go with me, or definitely they believed in my idea, or any of those things. But I had several meetings, so I was optimistic, as I always am. But I was in the bathroom in September of 2014 getting ready for work, and the doorbell rang. It's a true story. Went to the door, and it was a package for Point Blank Safety Services. Well, you have to understand, I didn't get packages at this time. I was literally an idea and a business card, right? So I was like, a package? What in the world? So I open it up, and it's a $1.5 million contract to use our officers on a managed lane project where they were adding a lane on the highway from Dallas, Texas to Denton, Texas. It was a 3-year project. So literally my life changed in the blink of an eye.
And that is what I wanted to hear and share with our audience. Incredible. Who would not want to get a package in the post with news like that? But I don't want to take away, Stacey, the hard work that you have put in those previous 2 years. So it is very, very well deserved. I bet you had sleepless nights, endless days of working hard. So that is very, very well deserved. But what a great example of how your life can just change overnight when you are putting in the work. I would like to know, Stacey, what really motivates you to jump out of bed every single morning?
Well, now, I have 200 police officers relying on me for the off-duty work. So now I'm motivated to make sure that I have enough work for all the officers that want it, so they can truly work as much or as little as they need or want at any particular time. So that really motivates me. And then, because of my success, my husband and I decided to start a nonprofit to pay it forward. So we founded Blue Family Fund, which is a self-funded nonprofit. We don't take any salaries. We pay all the expenses for the nonprofit ourselves. So truly every single penny donated goes to help the family of a first responder. You were just talking about all the first responders earlier, and we provide scholarships to dependents of first responders that want to further their education, as well as financial aid to families of fallen or injured first responders. So that's another thing that really gets me out of bed. I really want to build awareness for our nonprofit Blue Family Fund, and get it to be more of a household name, so people are able, when they want to help, they're able to think immediately of Blue Family Fund and be able to know that their money is actually going to help someone. It's not going to pay my salary. It's not going to some bottom line somewhere. It's actually every single dollar will go to a family.
And that's a really nice example of being of service, really making a difference and really making changes that are needed in this world. I really admire that, Stacey. I would like to know, what sets your business apart and what unique need are you filling for your clients and customers?
Well, I sort of touched on it earlier, but what really sets us apart is that when you hire us, you're getting trained Texas active duty certified police officers. they have the ability to arrest. They have jurisdiction all over the state, so they can actually take action if something does happen at your property. So that's really what sets us apart. We do not use just your typical, security guard, your guy with a flashlight. That people don't understand that security guard has to call 911 just like you or I. They don't have any ability to detain anyone or take any action whatsoever. So when you hire professionals, that's what you get. I mean, we focus on safety. Safety's in our name, Point Blank Safety Services. We make sure that every aspect of your job site is safe from the beginning to the end.
Why is your service especially important in today's modern world?
Well, it's a sad state the way, some of the world is today, that there's, just some terrible people out there. So to have an actual officer that has the ability to do something, if something should happen, is just a lot more effective, and, make people feel safer when they have an actual police officer on site, whether it be just, having to let go an employee, or, you just never know these days what's going to take place when there's negative news or bad things happen. So just to have the security or the peace of mind of a police officer being able to help with those things, it really takes a huge weight off, the shoulders of the people that are having to build the construction or do the loss prevention or whatever the case may be.
Can you share a little bit more detail of the kind of services and products that you offer?
Absolutely. Well, like I mentioned, we do traffic control, we do security, but we also recently have added to our portfolio some training. So we're able to do active shooter response trainings through the Homeland Security model that is out there. We rely on that for our trainings. We also do safety-based training. So if you have a company that really focuses on safety and keeping your employees safe, we'll come in and teach a behavioral-based training, which is sort of the philosophy of, if you see someone not doing the proper actions, or you see someone not being safe, you really have the confidence to speak up and say something about it without there being any kind of repercussions at your work. So it really puts a new spin on, see something, say something, be comfortable letting people know they should wear their PPE. They should do things according to policy. Just be safe. I mean, we all want to go home at night. That's the reality of it all. The police officers want to go home at night. The citizens want to go home at night, and we all just want to stay safe.
Yes. Now, I know you have all sorts of client success stories. Is there one that stands out in your mind that you could share with us?
Well, of course, the first one, when I won the big $1.5 million contract, we spent probably a month trying to ramp up very, very quickly to be able to meet the needs of that contract. We were able to do that. We did start work about a month later, and it was our first job. It was huge. They required upwards of 10 to 15 police officers per night on this project. And just the fact that we were able to quickly figure it all out, if you will. Some people think that you have to have this huge business plan up front and you have to know everything up front before you ever try your business, and it's just not true. You can figure it out as you go. We learned about outsourcing things to people who are more qualified at different areas than we are. We learned about ramping up quickly and being able to hire get a pool of police officers immediately. We learned about payroll and direct deposit and all those things that we didn't have in place prior to that contract. But it's that contract and being successful at it that has set us up for where we are now, because we can always use that original major contract as a referral, as a reference, and people are amazed that we started from zero and we're able to really fulfill that. And another thing people don't realize is to just set foot on a TxDOT job, you need $5 million in insurance. Well, $5 million in insurance cost about $15,000. So that was another huge hurdle that we had to overcome. We didn't have $15,000, but we didn't go into debt like a lot of people would, or take out big loans or anything like that. We literally sold everything, started over, and got the insurance we needed and started our company debt-free. So you just have to have the will in order to make things happen. And I'm very proud of that original contract. We still keep in touch with all those guys today. And they're excited to have been a part of our story as well.
And you mentioned having a strong will, and I think that is so important, Stacey. And another great point you made, not getting into debt, because sometimes when you have debt, it's really hard to focus on success and abundance when you're worrying about debt. I've been there. I actually sold my home, which was like a show home, to get myself out of debt, to focus on my entrepreneurship journey. So that is a really important point you made there. I would like to know, Stacey, the day after you've got the package or a couple of months later, you have all of a sudden got this busy business that is really making a difference and really starting to make an impact. That must be quite an unreal feeling when 1 minute it was just all in planning and business card mode, like you mentioned, and then you have this package, and then all of a sudden overnight you have a really fully active business. What was that experience like?
For me, I love it. I mean, I love being busy. For me, it was a dream come true. I'm pretty sure it overwhelmed my husband. I'm not sure he was quite ready for how big it was, but for me, it was great. I mean, I love it. I still love it today. I love being busy. I love the hunt for the new contracts. I love the sales process. I love all of it. Someone asked me on a podcast not too long ago what my retirement plan was, or what the succession plan was for my business. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not even near there yet. I'm still having too much fun. I don't even think about that. I just love what I do. I'm passionate about it. Hopefully you can tell that in my voice. I love it. I get up every morning, Mark, in a new world. I'm ready to take on whatever comes my way, and ready to, just go bigger and louder and make a difference in this world. We only get one shot at this, so we might as well do as much as we can. And that's not to say that I didn't have serious failures in the past or businesses that didn't work. But life is a lot about timing. It's a lot about, all the pieces sort of falling into place. So, if one thing doesn't work, you just got to fail more. Get out there and keep trying new things, and eventually you'll find that one that sticks.
And there's some great life lessons there for business, Stacey. Now, I am seeing you all over social media, on podcasts. You're really making ripples. How do clients normally hear about you? And are there certain life moments that usually lead for them to seek you out?
Well, as far as the nonprofit, all the podcasts and social media and all that really helps. People do reach out to me based on that. As far as our for-profit business, Point Blank Safety, it's typically referrals. One prime construction company hears about, how another one used us to really free up. I mean, when we come in and take over all the police officer scheduling and hiring and all that, we really free up almost an entire department within that construction company, that they can now use those people to do more revenue generating things. And then they have us to handle all the officers, one point of contact, one invoice. So they're very happy to refer us or let other contractors know how they're doing it and how much easier their life is after they've, released all that to Point Blank Safety Services. So it's typically referrals. It's also officers, they hear about different contracts and things and let us know. It's a lot of word of mouth.
And that's a sign of a job done well when you get referrals and word of mouth. That's the real way to build a great, strong business. Stacey, I have thoroughly enjoyed a conversation with you today. I find your energy, your enthusiasm really, really attracting. And Is there anything we did not cover that you would like to share with our listeners?
I have a cookbook on Amazon, but it's not just an ordinary cookbook. It's a cookbook that I co-authored with Donnie Bovine, and it's true recipes, but it's also recipes for success, how to build your business, how to scale your business, how to be a real badass, if you will, by working all day and then still being able to put a hot meal on the table for your family. So if you want to check that out, it's on Amazon. You can just put in Stacey Magovern and it should pop right up.
That is amazing. I encourage all our listeners to go to Stacey Magovern on Amazon, grab a copy of her amazing book. Stacey, my last question is, can you share with our listeners, how can people reach out to you? How can people connect with you?
Sure. Well, as you mentioned, I'm all over social media, so that's great. But also staceymagovern.com. If you want to have me on one of your podcasts or speak at one of your events, I'm very happy to do that. It's just staceymagovern.com. And Magovern, by the way, is Magovern. So you can find me on social media or on my website.
Stacey, I have thoroughly enjoyed a conversation with you today. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I love it. It was fun.
It's been my pleasure. You have been listening to the Brilliance Business Show, conversations with leading experts in business.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.